is, let me tell you, loved and hated in equal measure. Take it away, Carol.
Thank you so much, Dottie. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I don't know if it is raining where you are. It is raining where I am. A very nice feeling to be either in bed or to just be reading a very nice book. Good evening, everybody. And like you've heard, my name is Njoki, and I'm your host this evening. Very, very excited to share with us some of the thoughts that have, that go around our topic for today, our business and wellness topic for today, and some of the things that people struggle with, some spoken, some unspoken. But before we get there, allow me to ask us, and it would be good if you can write in the chat box, is there anything that you know that is loved and hated in equal measure? I have an idea of about 2-3 things, but just let me know. Do you know anything? Or someone, anything? No, don't give me someone. Oh God, don't give me someone. It might get a bit sensitive. Do you know anything? Anything that is hated and loved in equal measure? If you have an idea of something, kindly write for us in the chat box. Write for us in the chat box. I have an idea, so I will write for you what I have in mind. Millie said the network marketing industry. I know of politics. What else? There are people who'd love to have the money that is with politics, the power, the ability to wield, power. Yes, Josephine says football. Yes, I guess so. I guess football is one of the things that causes people to commit suicide, at the same time causes people to be very excited in equal measure. What else? What else do you think? Hey, yes, Victor says religion. Yes, especially in these days and in this country. Religion is another area topic that is loved and hated in equal measure. Jane says social media. Oh, yes. Oh, goodness, I had not remembered that one. And it is so, very so. Loved, hated in equal measure. Is it fair to say that some of the things that are loved and hated in equal measure, one is because whoever is giving their opinion, technology, yes, is giving from their point of view. That if I stand on this side of social media, like I know, let me give a very specific example. I know there are very many Gen X's and baby boomers, people above the age of 45, who swear that they cannot be a part of TikTok, because what many people heard is that TikTok is where people dance naked. It's where we have a lot of obscenities happening after midnight. But what maybe some of those people do not know is that the algorithm feeds you what you look for. So for example, if you're on TikTok looking for people who, knit sweaters, you're likely to get a lot of things relating to people who knit sweaters. And no matter where you go, you are most unlikely to see the naked people. Like, for example, I've been on TikTok for how many years? 2 years now? Oh, yes, I think 2, 1.5, maybe 1.5, I don't know. And have never come across the nudities or those negative images that people talk about, because I don't search for them. And we know the same of Facebook. If you constantly looking for politics, you will constantly get politics on your feed. If you're constantly looking for football, you constantly get football on your feed. And so is with any other technology. Joyce says marriage, it is loved and hated in equal measure. I guess so, to a good extent. The people who are talking very ill of marriage, others are talking about, good things about it. And so I want to tell us that from where I sit, I think most of these topics, most of these things will depend on which side of the divide you are. If you're supporting Arsenal right now, you might not love football very much. But in another season, when they seem to be looking like they're winning, just for them to lose towards the end, and if there's anybody who is who is a fan of Arsenal, please forgive me. Benjamin, I guess you mean drug use, not drug abuse. Of course, drug abuse is hated by everybody, but drug use, some people love love drug use, others hate drug use. So drug abuse is definitely, I guess, hated by everybody. All these things, yes, depending on which side of the divide you are on. The people who love to drink will not hear anything about what alcohol can do to others. So having said that, I'll ask another one question. Victor says, Arsenal losing will be good news. Let us not go there, Victor, because I know we will open a can of worms that we cannot deal with. I will ask you another question. Where did you come into this presentation from? Did you come from a point of curiosity, skepticism? It's not for me, or let me hear what she has to say. Kindly write for me in the chat box. Did you come with a notion of, I've had these things before, but let me hear again, let me hear her version. I'm curious what she has to say. I'm very skeptical, so I am just joining because my friend asked me to join into the training. What is your stand right now? Let's be honest. I'll be honest with you, every time I am making a presentation about this topic, I am usually very curious to find out if I'll gather new information from the people that are in the session. And also, I do a lot of research. Sylvester says curiosity. I do a lot of research myself to find out what else is in this industry, what else is in this topic that I do not know. Hated and loved things in equal measure. Timothy, I don't know which question you're answering. We've already moved on to how you came in, or you came in because of the statement hated and loved things in equal measure, to see the things that are hated and loved in equal measure. Yes, I guess so. That's another thing. Somebody could have come in because they're trying to figure out what is loved and hated in equal measure. Anyone else? We have 3 answers. Mine is curiosity. Sylvester's is curiosity. Timothy, you don't have to be new, but you still came in with a certain disposition. We always go into sessions with a certain disposition. And I'll be telling you a little more about what has been my disposition for the last so many years that I've interacted with this industry. But before I can do that, I would like to hear your opinion. How did you come in? Where did this Zoom invitation find you? At a place of curiosity? At a place of skepticism? I'm waiting to hear even from the people that are already in this industry. I'm not asking just guests. So I'm looking for answers from the likes of Millicent, from Josephine, from Doti, from Joyce, from Jane, from Josephine, everybody who is not necessarily very new, from Rachel, from Mercy, from Crispina, Dorothy Tuma. I'm looking for answers from you guys. I'm looking for answers from Charity, Celestine, Doti, Esther Dishu. What is your disposition? I see curious from Josephine. Anybody else? You know, usually because I am such a teacher, I keep saying that When I ask a question in a session that I'm sure can be interactive and people do not answer, or I don't get enough responses, I tend to revert to my teacher me. The teacher me is, let me wait for the answers so that I can be able to speak. Dorothy says curious, Milton says out of curiosity, Millie says expectation to hear something new. Any other answer other than curious? Any other answer other than curious from anybody else? I am waiting for one more response, another English word that is not curious, that is not out of curiosity, to learn what this is, Josephine Wakilo says. Thank you very much. Now, let me give you a bit of a background. I've spent the last 20 or so years working in a job, or some 20 or so years working in a job that I thought honestly was going to be my ideal job, that I thought was going to fulfill every dream that I had thought about, and at the same time be able to give me maybe an excellent retirement when the time came, fresh insights. And I'm suspecting that that is Reverend Joyce. If that is Reverend Joyce, I would want to know, because I want to find out something. Tabitha says, I love hearing new news to look for new opportunity, Charity says. So in those 20 years, I had been working at a diplomatic mission. And because I was coming from a space of education, teaching, I thought, and a bit of marketing, I thought that, look, this is it. This is my ideal job. This is everything. And as fate would have it, as soon as I started, I began to feel, first of all, the idea of sitting at a desk did not appeal to me at all. I am not a desk person. I'm the kind of person who'd rather be walking around, would rather be jumping around, shouting, laughing, dancing. That is my personality. So sitting at a desk from 8 to 5, conducting interviews, conducting investigations, got me getting really bored. As much as I love catching thieves, other than loving catching thieves, everything else was beginning to get very boring. And around that time, somebody introduced the idea of a business that I would be able to do without employees, without quitting my job, and without having to put a lot of money. And because I was at a point where I was asking myself, what else can I do? And number two, because I was coming from a place of marketing, I was a marketing manager for a short period, and I had done a postgraduate marketing course, and had this sort of business mentioned 1 or 2 times, but I had not quite understood exactly what it is. I got in with a lot of curiosity, like some of you. I got in with a notion of, if it works, it will be a good thing, because it will take me away from my job, which is a bit boring, and also be able to give me extra income. And so I don't have to quit my job, but I'll still be able to make the money that I wanted. Now, for the 10 years or so, allow me to say that the greatest thing that happened for me, or the 3 greatest things that happened for me, I'll tell you the truth, I did not make a lot of money. I made some money, but I did not make a lot of money. But 3 things happened. 1, I became excessively curious about the concept. I wanted to know, what is this concept? How is it that some people are able to make such crazy amounts of money? Number 2, it opened my mind to a world where people can actually make millions of shillings per month without being in politics, without running an illegal business, without having been born in a family that has money. So that for me was a real mindset shift. I began to tell myself, you mean it is actually possible to earn in millions per month without having several degrees, without having very high positions, without being in politics, without running a family business? And from that moment, I got myself learning. Now, if there's nothing else you leave this session with, I want you to leave this session knowing that the space that I'm inviting you to is a space of endless knowledge. Because the third thing that happened for me, I became excessively interested in the space of health and wellness. And out of my interest and my desire to understand why do people get so sick and they're unable to do anything about it, how come they did not know when it was coming, how come they're not feeling anything, how come some conditions cannot totally be cured by modern medicine, yet medicine has really advanced. All those things became my space of curiosity. And I began to read and look for information. And ultimately, that journey landed me into another space of certifying as a wellness coach, because I really wanted to understand that space. And so I want to start by saying that even as you get curious about this space, about this industry, I want you to remember that in life, all the benefits that you get may never, all of them, translate into hard cash. All the things that you will enjoy in this life will not always be monetary. So even as we share in this conversation, I'd like you to ask yourself, what else might interest me in this space besides money? And I'm not saying that money is not good. The reason why I moved away from the company that I was with to the company that I am with right now is because I wanted to make more money. Is because I was looking for products that were working better than any other products that I'd used. It's because I found a drink, a coffee, that was not giving me a bloated stomach, that was not giving me allergic reactions like I used to get with milk. And so I found a product that I wanted to use. Now, before I even tell you any lot more about this industry, the industry that I'm talking about is an industry that most of you have heard about. And even as I mention it, I know you're going to think, oh my God, it cannot be that industry again, the industry of network marketing. But before you dismiss my thought process, I want us to ask ourselves, when did the industry start? Why did it start? And what is different? The industry of network marketing was started in the 50s. As the world was coming out of the Second World War, people were beginning to move away from the agrarian style of living, that is farming, and they were coming a lot more into industries, and people were starting businesses. And so during that time, certain people realized that you needed high capital to start a business. You needed employees to be able to start a good business. You needed to have money for overheads, for stock, for rent, for advertising, for transportation, for warehousing, for wholesaling or transporting to wholesalers, to retailers, and on and on and so on and so on and so forth. And so during that time in the early 50s, some people came up with a concept where goods would be moved from one person to another, or from the company to the consumer, through this one person or through the same consumer. So that I, as Njoki, who found a coffee that is good for me, that does not give me a bloated stomach, that does not give me allergies, decide that even I would like to distribute that coffee to other people. That I, Njoki, who found a soap that has no chemicals, that is good for my skin, that keeps my skin looking youthful, that does not give me acne, I tell myself, I'll buy some for myself, but I also buy a few more to sell to somebody else. What does that mean? The concept cuts off the traditional middleman, the national agent or regional agent. Like, for example, if you know about beer distribution or soda distribution, you will know that there are regional distributors, so that the Mount Kenya region will have a distributor who is the only sole distributor in that region. The Western region will have another distributor. The coastal region will have another distributor. So those are regional agents. And then wholesalers. And then there'll be sales force, the people who are going around to check that the wholesalers, the agents are doing the right thing. And then there'll be advertising, and then there'll be retailing in the supermarkets. And finally, you and I, the consumer. But where does the national agent, the wholesaler, the sales force, the advertisers, or the advertising and the retailer, where do they make their money from? Who gives them their money? For them to make their money, that soda needs to increase in price. From the price that the manufacturer gave it, it needs to consecutively increase in price, so that the national agent, the wholesaler, the sales force, the advertisers, the retailers can be paid, even the transporters. Does that make sense? If it makes sense for you, give me a 1 in the chat box. If that makes sense, let me see a 1 in the chat box. Somebody says 1. Yes, Josephine Akilo says 1. Crispina says 1. Thank you so much. Lucy says 1. Adija, Catherine, and Gladys, thank you so much. Now, the alternative is that someone with the same products or similar products warehouses them or brings them close to where you are. For example, say you are in Meru, the person with the same products or the manufacturer of the same products brings them close to you in Meru, so that you are able to take a boda, so that you are able to take a matatu for 50 bob, 20 bob, 10 bob, and go to that shop and buy those goods. But it does not stop there. The same company tells you that, look, you like the product, I give you an opportunity to become an ambassador of the same product. And what does it entail for you to become an ambassador of the same product? It entails you having a partnership with the company that allows you to buy the product at a lower price and tell somebody else about it and make some money that would have been made by the middleman. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, you can write a question in the chat box. If it doesn't make sense, you can write a question in the chat box and I'll be able to answer your question. Now, note, the person who says, I would like to partner with this particular company does not have to become a retailer. They don't have to become a distributor. They can become a partnered consumer who is able to get their products at a lower price. And guess what? whether you're a partnered consumer or you are one who is also distributing to other people, you're still able to make a margin in bonuses by virtue of the fact that you have agreed to partner with this company. Now, for us that I've always felt that there must be an element that is not understandable. Is there an element that doesn't make sense for you there? Or is there something that you have not understood? Because tonight, what I would like to do more of is to help you understand this concept so that even as you get asked questions, whether you want to partner with this company or not, but when you get asked questions, you're able to give answers from a point of knowledge. And I'll finish this by saying that any company that exists, whether it is selling soda, it is selling beer, it is selling food, it is selling soap, it is either paying for advertising or it is paying people. So for example, a traditional business marketing company will pay social media, will pay traditional media houses millions of money to advertise their products. But because that company is still there to make profits, they will increase the price of your product, the product that you buy from them, maybe by 50 cents for every product, so that 1 million of you can pay for that product. Or by 2 shillings, whatever the amount. But the point is that you, as a common person who did not come from a background where you had a lot of money, who may not have done several degrees, who may not have had the luxury of being employed in a big company, may not then get the opportunity to be able to work in that company as a national agent, as a wholesaler, in Salesforce, or even as a retailer. But if you get an opportunity with a company that does not require you to show high capital, that does not require you to have certain degrees, that does not require you to work 8 to 5, then you're able to build a similar business with the national agent using word of mouth and social media. I hope that is clear, because we need to demystify some of the misconceptions that are running around about what these industries entail. Do you have the same price for consumer partner, retailer partner, and wholesale partner? No. Of course, if we had the same price for retailer partner, in other words, okay, let me put it this way differently. If you partner with a company, whether you're partnering to sell to other people, whether you're partnering to just consume for yourself, we are going to buy at the same price. You, let's say, for example, you, Victor, you partner with a company just for your own consumption. And I have partnered with the company to be able to retail to other people. The price at which I get the product at, for example, the soap that we have, which is a very good soap, I will get it at 297 shillings. You will also get it at 297 shillings. And then, because you are not retailing, you use it in your house, you will be paid a bonus for the consumption that you have done as a household or as Victor. I will be paid for the consumption that I have done. I will be paid a profit for retailing, and I will also be paid a bonus for the amount of goods that I've helped move through the retailing process. I hope that is clear. Now, let's ask ourselves, so where is the truth? If that be the case, if that is honestly the case, if Njoki is telling you the truth, how come some people think it's a pyramid scheme? Why do so many people fail in these sort of industries? And what if I don't want to sound like I'm pushing my and what actually works? Who do you know who has made some money? And when I say some money, I would like you to tell me in the chat box, what is a reasonable amount of money that if you made as an extra income from this kind of a venture, what is reasonable for you as extra income? Kindly give me your figure in the chat box. I like to interact with people so that I can really understand and be able to tell whether what I'm saying is making sense, whether it is understood, and whether I should elaborate any further. So tell me, Dottie says 100,000. Anybody else? What sort of amount would make sense for you? Let's say you're working somewhere else and you're doing this on a part-time basis. What sort of amount would make sense for you to be able to make? And so that you can say, it was worth my time, it was worth me telling other people. Is it just Dottie would like to make some money? The people that are here, I'm still waiting for people like Dorothy, Josephine, Crispina to respond, Tabitha. I mean, you are also in this session and it would be good. Christabel, let me see who else is here. Ephraim, Esther Dishu, Felgona. I am waiting for answers from you. Irene Jeroge, Grace, Florence, Hannah Gilo. Tell me, give me an answer, give me a figure. Beatrice says 100,000. Edith, 100. You mean 100 shillings? Gladys says 150. Josephine says 50K. Anything over 100,000. Timothy says 100,000. Aha, good. Do we have any other figure? 50K, over 50K, excellent. Anybody else with a different figure? Dorothy, would you like to make any money? And if you did, what would make sense for you as extra income? Crispina, Felista says 50K, Marty says 100K. Felista, sorry. Jane Minyanya says 50, Irene says 200, over 50K. Thank you so much. So let's say anything from 50,000 going up makes sense for all of us. Good amounts. Let me confess something at this particular time. By the time I was partnering with this company in 2021, I had come across people that I knew firsthand, that I knew that were not cheating me, that I saw their checks with my own eyes, that had made 1 million Kenya shillings. So as much as I was happy with 100,000, as much as I was happy with 50,000, I knew that it was possible to make 100,000, I mean, to make 1 million Kenya shillings. Victor, I would suggest that good is just good. Good is just good. There is no bad. I mean, you can't say this amount has become bad because of the season. A good amount is just good. And it would be good for you to be able to say what that amount is. Peter says 50,000. So my point is that I had seen people make colossal amounts of money. But I had also seen people make nothing. Personally, I had made maximum I'd ever made as a part-timer back in the day before I became, before I partnered with my current company, which is BF Suma, was 137,000 shillings. That was the highest I'd ever made. Now, people ask me, what kept you for all those years, 10 years plus? You're in the industry part-time. You are not making the kind of money people were making. What kept you? 3 things kept me. 1, 100,000 part-time is a lot of money. Let's be honest. 20,000 Kenya shillings part-time is a lot of money. 10,000 Kenya shillings part-time is good money. Why? Because your employer, for those of us that are employed, we know that it is in rare cases that your employer will increase your salary by 10,000 shillings. It is even harder for your employer to increase your salary year in, year out by 20,000 shillings. And so if you can make an extra 20,000 shillings on a part-time basis, it means you're able to increase your annual salary by a whooping 240,000 Kenya shillings. Is it? No, my math is always not right. That cannot be correct. 20,000? Where are the mathematicians? Yes, it is by 240,000 Kenya shillings per year. Now, if you put that money in money market, in 5 years, you will have a good amount of money. For some people in their jobs, by the time they get to retire, that 20,000 Kenya shillings extra put in money market will have made them a lot more than their employer will give them as their, what is it, severance bonus or their pension or whatever it is called in your company. And so I want to say this. Any money that is extra, if you're able to make any extra money, you need to ask yourself, how can I increase this extra money? Why do people say it is a pyramid scheme or that the industry is a pyramid scheme? I don't know, but I'll explain why I think people would say that. One is because some people do not take the time to understand how the industry exactly works. Two, other non-genuine companies that do not have products infiltrate the industry, just like they are thugs, they are goons that have bought motorbikes, they are goons that are pretending to be doing the motorbike border business, but they are driving around looking for people from whom to steal phones. They're driving around, acting as goons for certain other people. It doesn't mean that every guy, every lady who has a motorbike is a goon. It doesn't mean that everybody who has a motorbike is snatching phones. And so even the industry of network marketing has some goons in it. How do you tell a goon? A goon is a company that comes and tells you all you need to do is recruit people. You will make money. When you recruit someone, you get paid. That is a goon company because people don't make money. There is nowhere where we need to sell people. Number two, if there's no product being sold, if there's no product that you're buying that you can retail, you are the product. If you cannot see what you're selling, most probably you're the one who's being sold. That is how we get pyramid schemes. How come so many people fail? Than the fact that so many people are not inducted correctly. So many people join companies that have no systems, proper systems of how to work, other than the fact that so many people get into this industry without really giving it a consideration of I need to work because, of course, the money required to start your business is very little. For example, you can be able to have a partnership with only 10,000 shillings. The fact that it's only 10,000 shillings, 15,000 shillings, most people are willing to lose that money. Many people are willing to put in that money and never ever bother about how the business works. But then again, I will ask you, I need you to read this comment that I pulled off social media from a friend of mine who runs another business. She says, in 2024, I sold beef for a couple of months. That means she was running a beef business. Then one day, about 2,000 kgs of fillet steak went bad due to storage issues and had to incur that loss. Then she goes on to say, every 1 kilo was going for 1,500. Somebody quickly write for me the amount of loss that lady incurred. It's a lady, and she has put it publicly. So I didn't want to put it publicly, but I'm sure if you look for it in social media, you'll find it. She's doing some other business right now. This is only 2024. That means that business failed in Josephine. I don't think that is correct. We are talking about 2,000 kilos times 1,500. Josephine, you need to use your calculator better. It is not 300,000. It is 3 million Kenya shillings. Why am I giving this example? Giving this example because when we say that so many people fail in this industry, we forget how many people have closed shops in town. We also forget how many people have lost money to the tune of 3 million. We forget a gentleman who woke up one day and found his shop had been swept clean and that he had lost 16 million. But for us, I will say many people fail because the investment they've put in is not an investment that can keep them awake. If you lose 15,000 Kenya shillings, it's not the same as this person who lost 3 million Kenya shillings. It's not the same as that person who lost 16 million Kenya shillings. And so I think also, besides the fact that some people will not follow the systems, that some people will not avail themselves for the journey of learning the skills of doing this business. And so that will contribute to their failure too. So how does it work then? If all those things can make you not make money, how does it work? This business requires structure, strategy, and support. Structure, strategy, and support. When you partner with this company, immediately you need to ask yourself, what does it take to make money? It takes you using the products. It takes you selling the products. It takes you telling somebody else about how they can partner to use the products or sell the products. By the way, note that not everybody who is partnering with this company wants to do a business. I already said you can partner with the company just so that you can access your products at a cheaper price. But who does not want to make some extra money, honestly? Even if that extra money is money that you're going to give to charity. This business requires strategy. Part of the strategy that I know so many people don't take the time to share with their prospects is what I'm sharing with you tonight. Rarely will you find teams. We are known as the Brilliant Business and Wellness Circle. We are the brilliant team. We take time to explain to you what it is not, what is required of you, what it takes to succeed, and why so many people are failing. We are taking time to share with you, to enlighten you about what you might need to take into consideration if you say this is a business that I want to become a part of. And besides that, we support you. We support you with training. We support you with beginning to speak to your people. For example, if you partner with us, the person that brought you on board should be able to sit down with you and listen as you tell a new person about this opportunity so that she or he can be able to tell you, look, if you speak to this person in this kind of a way, they might understand what you're saying better instead of telling them that they need to come, you have a job for them. Because like I spoke to a lady The other day, I spoke to a lady and she told me the last time she's ever been invited for this kind of a session, she felt very bad because she was told she's coming for a job, just for her to come and realize it is a business. So, those sort of, not completely honest conversations can make somebody fail in the business. And so we support you to be able to understand what to say, how to say it, to who, and the structure of how you're going to grow your business. So what works? We only do 3 things in this opportunity. We use products. We find a product that might be of interest to us and we use it. For example, I've already talked about coffee. I've already talked about soap. We also have a toothpaste that you might like. Why? Because it does not have fluoride. Why? Because it helps your gums from receding. Why? Because it stops bleeding gums. Why? Because it is safe to use for children. You might want to use something like something for your joints. Why? Because you started going to the gym and now you're feeling aches and pains in your joints, in your back, and or you have a parent who is beginning to have arthritis and therefore you like to buy them a mineral combination that will help with their joints. And so you want to have an account so that you can buy at a lower price. When you buy at a lower price, of course, you have saved money, 1. 2, you still get paid for consuming in your own account. Believe it or not, you still get paid for consuming in your own account. Then, along the way, you might find an auntie who is also complaining of knee ache, backache, is looking for a soap, is looking for something to work on their hormonal imbalance. They are in their menopause, and so they are getting hot flashes, and they are getting acne, and they are getting backache, they are losing hair. So you might tell them, look, I have found some products that are really good, and you might want to try them. So you are sharing value. You are having a conversation that is sharing value with your auntie. And because you already have your own account, and maybe your auntie does not want to have their own account, you buy for them either at a retail price, meaning you make a profit, or you gift them at your own price, you can. Alternatively, your auntie might tell you, oh, you mean I can also have my own account? And that if I buy in my own account, I also get a discount, and that I can also be able to sell. I just recently quit my job. I recently retired. How I've wanted to start a business. So you mean I can be able to make money on the side? And then you tell them yes. And then they're asking you about, so how do they get started? And you're telling them, I've only started. I do not know exactly how you get started, but I will invite you to a session where they'll be telling you how you can get started. And that is how you solve your auntie's problem. And your auntie becomes a member of your network, your team. And by virtue of you being able to, get her into the network, then she gets the good price, she gets paid for her consumption, she gets paid for her retailing, and you also get paid for all the products that you and your auntie get to move into the market. I'll tell you something. People do not hate selling. People hate the pressure that comes with not understanding how to start genuine conversations, not understanding how to share value, not understanding how they can solve somebody else's problem. For every business investment, there are some well-known challenges, risks. Could you please mention a few you've already encountered and how you navigated through them? Thank you very much, Victor. Excellent. One of the greatest challenges in the space of network marketing, I'll be very honest with you, is that because the capital required to get started is very little, you get people from all walks of life accepting to come into the business, but not ready to do what it takes to succeed. So many of those people might come in and drop off along the way. And when they drop off, you as a new person, you as a person who is trying to show them the way, you may get discouraged, you may get distracted, you may begin to think it will not work. That is one. Number two challenge, just like any other industry, this industry has a lot of, not a lot, has some people who are not genuine. Just like you find in education, there are some teachers who are not genuine. Just like you find in medicine, there are some rogue doctors. Just like you find in the police force, there are some rogue police officers. Just like you find even in parents, there are some rogue parents who are killing their children to the point of killing them. They are rogue distributors. They are rogue business people in this industry. Those rogue people spoil the name for the industry. For example, when I come and tell you that I'm giving you a job, and then you come and find that it is a business, you go home with a bad taste in your mouth and you begin to think I was lying. So such are the kind of challenges that you find in this industry. The beauty with the challenges is that it has been established. And because we have professionals like Eric Worre, who has been able to write a whole professional book about how you can do the business in a professional manner. And he's launching another book in June, still about how to take this business to the next level and do it from a professional perspective. Thank God for people like him that started network marketing in the 80s. They've been able to put together information that is able to tell you that if you learn the skills, if you stay long enough and learn the skills, you will surely make the money. Let me give you my own example. As much as I had started in the industry while still working for the diplomatic mission in other companies, and I've already told you that the highest I ever made was 137,000 Kenya shillings for over 10 years. I made money 20,000, 50,000, 70,000, but the highest that I ever made in those 10 years on the side, besides my salary, was 137,000 Kenya shillings. I knew that if I stay long enough, if I find a company with a very, very fair compensation plan, if I find a company with very good products, products that do whatever the company is saying they do, I will be able to make good money. I knew that if I work consistently, persistently, learning the skills, I will succeed at some point. And true to my word, when I started with this company in 2021, within 8 months of working with this company, I was being able to make a bonus equivalent to what my salary was. I had been working for my salary for 17 years at the diplomatic mission. And within 8 months in this company, I was able to measure up that salary. Now, is that a typical income? Not necessarily. There are people who will make more. There are people who will make less. Why? Because one of the environment they are in, some people are in very tight environments. They can't find even 2 hours a day to do the business. Others are, maybe they haven't believed in the business yet. So they're going at a slower pace as they begin to understand it. And so many other factors. Just like any other business, people will go at different paces. But let me tell you the truth. As long as you're persistently, consistently learning and doing what it takes, as we will teach you, you will surely make your 50,000. You will surely make your 100,000. you will surely make your $500,000, like I've seen someone do. Right? You will surely make that 1 million Kenya shillings. I have made it. I know how it is made. I know it can be done. And I know that you do not require special skills to make it. What you need is, one, to get yourself a starter kit. For only 10,000 shillings, get yourself a starter kit. Why? Because in that starter kit, you get products to sample. You get products that you can use and tell yourself, okay, let me try these products and see if they're really good. Why? Because after you paid your 10,000 shillings, you'll have partnered with the company. You'll be able to get physical literature, books, the company profile book, the company products book, a health guide that tells you what works, what product is made with what, and why it is good for you, why the vitamin D3 is good for you, why Cerebrain is good for brain fog, what ingredients are in it, why you should try and use, say, the micro 2, which is good for circulation, for cholesterol, and so on and so forth. At the same time, once you've got your 10,000 shillings, we will incorporate you into our mentorship groups, where we have constant training taking place, and that constant training will be able to help you to begin to grow. How fast can you grow? You will grow as fast as you desire, based on the man hours that you're putting into the business in doing the things that work. What are the things that work? Remember, we said starting conversations, sharing value, solving people's problems. Those three things resort to you using some products, you retailing products, you bringing other people on board to be able to retail and use the products. Before we can come to the end of this session, before I invite you to this simple, profitable, yet duplicatable or duplicable and fun business, I'd like us to hear a short, very short testimonial from one of us. I don't know if she is in a position to share or to come on screen. She might be on the road, but if she's on the road, she can talk to us without coming onto the screen, without necessarily being on camera. I'm looking for Millie Ochoki. Kindly, if you could raise your hand, I'll be able to unmute you. Millie Ochoki, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. Where are you? Millie Ochoki, are you with us? All right, excellent. I've asked you to unmute. Kindly take it away.
Good evening, Carol. Good evening, everyone that is on board. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Si kama penye muko umekumbana na mafuriko ama ni Nairobi rivers are rivering. So I'm on the road, like you said. So allow me not to be on screen for now. And first, I'm very glad that I am part of this session. I have learned, because like I wanted to learn, I have maybe a quick one before we close. I have been in this space for around 4 to 5 years now. And I will just point out 3 or 4 very, very lovely things that have happened for me. For those who have not met me, I had a person that was my spouse, and he was my sponsor in every way. So Millie did not work, Millie did not do business, Millie did not do anything. Millie just enjoyed life. But life happens, and this particular person left, as in left. He rested. So Millie had to find a way to deal with life. And I'm very grateful that a friend spoke to me even during that journey of transition, I had met her and I didn't know it is something that I could do, because basically we're just consuming the product and they really worked for us. But after that gap, I realized I could be paid. So I'm actually enjoying monthly bonuses and profits. And yeah, like Carol said, maybe this month, depending on how you work, this month may not be like the other. But I think 100,000 a month can sort very many things for me, and it does. So that is one. Number two, my wellness and my family's wellness. Above, other than God being with us, I don't remember the last time we were in hospital. It's been years. So we have been sustained. Why? Because of the products. I would confidently say that. Number three, the incentives. I am planning to go on 2 trips this year. I have Egypt and I have Masai Mara. And those are incentives that anyone would enjoy. Those are fully paid. Yeah. So, and then the greatest is the support. You know, when you're in this space, you don't walk alone. And if Carol can leave her work, resign, then there's something she knows that me, who had never done anything, can learn from her. So, and she's willing to give that support for me and for others. So I have learned, I have been supported, and in turn, I have also supported others. I can see even in the call, I have a few people that, yeah, I have worked with and I have seen them grow. So mentorship, that community, that growing together, personal development, everything in one shop is quite something. So Carol, let me leave it at that. There's so much. Mengi hatuwezi sema sasa. We can continue that conversation. But if you are willing, it is a good place. You don't have to resign like Carol did. Not you decide when to or if you have to. So yeah, you're guided. Asante sana. Asante, Carol.
Thank you so much, Millie. Thank you for allowing, speaking to us even as you're in the rain. I guess, of course, you're not being rained on, but on the road. We are very grateful that you could join us this evening. For me, it's been 4.5 years. This June, the 27th of June this year, I will turn 5 years in this company. 1.5 years, I did the business on a part-time basis. I was still working for the diplomatic mission. For 3 years, I have been doing it on a full-time basis. I have been able to see an income that can literally pay for people at the diplomatic mission that I was working. And not to say that the pay was bad, it was actually quite good. But I know that this business has been able to expand me, expand my thought processes, expand my idea of supporting other people in business, and more importantly, always leads me to a place to ask myself, what can I do differently so that more people can be able to enjoy health, more people can be able to enjoy the fellowship, the networks of people, the fun, the incentives that the company is offering, and make the money whilst at it. And therefore, this evening, I'm inviting any one of you that is a guest tonight. Reach out to the person that invited you here this evening. Tell them, I would like to get started. Once you have paid your 10,000 shillings, then we begin the process of launching your business and hand-holding you so that you can begin to make money. You will be able to make money if you join us before the 12th of this month, of next month. You will be paid on the 15th of May. So as soon as you start with us, you're liable for payment. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We will be having another session on Thursday. purely talking about wellness. On that day, we will not talk about business. We'll just talk about wellness. So you're most welcome to be with us again, even on Thursday and on Sunday evening when we launch your business in a proper way. So let us just believe and pray, because we have run out of time. I've overrun our time. So allow me just to say a short prayer for us so that we can have a good night. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you that you allowed the 67, 65 of us to be here this evening and to share in knowledge. May each person that has been here receive their portion of knowledge, the wisdom that you allowed them to be here for. May it be known unto them, and may they take the action that will be the very best for their lives. We thank you, Father. We honor you. In Jesus' name we have prayed. God bless each one of you. God protect you. God watch over you. And may we meet on the beaches of the world. Good night and God bless you.